Echoes of the Plum Grove just released a few days back, and there were a lot of challenges that I encountered. And while there weren't any deal breakers, the game is still amazing. There are just some things that I wish I knew before starting my gameplay. In this video, we'll not only go through the different mechanics of the game, but dive deeper on how you can maximize your gameplay as a beginner. We'll be discussing the personalization of your gameplay, quick tips on accomplishing early quests, and specific things you need to know about each gameplay mechanic, from foraging, cooking, trading, farming, and socializing. Without further ado, grab your snacks, cozy up, and let's jump right into the first tip. Personalizing your gameplay. This alone already puts Echoes of the Plum Grove on my must playlist. You can customize the game's different features to suit your very own playstyle. Is the fishing game too hard? You can turn off the limit or remove it completely. Are the characters aging too fast? You can slow it down. The starter tools keep breaking and you can't afford to repair or buy a new one just yet? Turn off the tool durability. And the list goes on. And while I like overcoming a challenge as much as the next person, sometimes I just want to turn my brain off after a long day at work and just chill with my new favorite game. That's why I appreciate how you can just change the settings mid-game with no restart needed. The changes will be applied right away. You can of course choose to change the settings at the beginning of the game. And speaking of the beginning, I would also like to point out how in-depth the tutorial is, complete with images and arrows. You can access it by pressing T or selecting tutorial when you're on the menu screen. It can get a bit overwhelming, especially when you're just starting out. No one expects you to understand it all right away, just keep in mind that there is this option as you go through your game. I usually go blind and just wing it in my first playthrough, and oh boy, let's just say a lot of time and coins would have been saved if I had just read the tutorial. Next up is my personal favorite, the fast travel, which can be accessed right away. You heard that right, just pull up your map and select the signposts that you can fast travel to. This is especially useful when you're slowed down, stuck somewhere, or deep within the mines. You just pull up your map, choose a familiar road, and you're out. Fast travel doesn't cost anything, however it will take time to get to the destination, so do manage your time properly. Another feature that's available from the get-go is a large inventory/backpack or rucksack, whichever is the appropriate term for this era. With the star rating and freshness decay, there's no shortage of items in the game, but somehow the inventory on your person is pretty sufficient. Well, the chests that you can craft do help as extended inventory, but you get the idea. I would have wanted a sort feature though, but maybe in future updates. Hopefully. As for the foraging, well, the game will let you know with a mini tutorial of sorts that items having a thick black outline can be interacted with. You will find forageables like plantains and violets during spring, and both are actually ingredients for survival salad, which is good early game food. For trees and bushes, you can shake those twice per day, although it will depend on the season, while other forageables on the ground are one time only. And if you've been shaking those bushes for a while and you've been wondering what to do with the leaves and sticks since you can't sell them, they can be used for crafting and quests. For crafting, you will need blueprints that you can get from quests, winning at festivals, and leveling up your skills. Sometimes you'll get duplicate blueprints and recipes and will wonder why you can't learn them. Just double check what you already know and you might have already learned it. Some crafts can be left in the background as you go about your day, and what's awesome is you will still gain crafting experience from that, so remember to craft away. When you start the game, you'll find most of the necessary tools in your storage box in your house, except for the axe, lantern, and fishing rod. To get an axe, head to the bulletin board for a quest for the blacksmith after meeting with the mayor in the town hall. The quest requires 20 wood. This means you'll be shaking a fair amount of trees. It's best to do this on the first day, as it will trigger another quest once complete. To get the lantern, you would have to have finished the axe quest. This time around though, the quest is for a rocking chair which you can buy at the carpenter's shop. So what is the lantern for? It's needed to go deeper in the mines and is useful at night or in dark areas. You move slower without it, or when your vision is darkened. One thing to keep in mind for lanterns is that they run on lantern oil, so make sure to always take note of the oil level. You can buy the lantern oil from the blacksmith, and once you've run out, you can refill it via the family menu. Click on the small icon on the lantern. Make sure you do have oil in your inventory. Next up is the fishing rod. No one will tell you to get it, but it's one of the easiest ways to make money, not just in the beginning, but also mid-game. You can just straight up buy it from the fishing NPC, no quests required. The actual fishing though is a beast. It was pretty confusing at first, so remember, check the tutorial. Using WASD or directional keys, you need to move toward the fish. It can take a bit of getting used to, but if you do find it difficult, there's an option to remove the timer or remove the minigame altogether. Side note for fishing, lures can help increase the odds of finding certain types of fish. You can either craft it yourself or buy it from the fishing NPC. To equip the lure, go to the family menu similar to the lantern, and there's a lure button below your character, and you can select from there. What makes the tools in this game different is they have durability and will break and disappear once it goes to 0. But don't worry, the tools can be repaired by a blacksmith. Repairs take a day and get mailed to you, so you don't have to go back to their shop. One thing that sets apart Echoes of the Plum Grove from other farming crafting games is the requirement to consume food and the mechanics that surround that feature. First off, you'll have a hunger bar and your performance and health will dwindle down if you're not fed properly. So make sure you eat. The challenge, however, is that food goes bad over time and will rot. A quick reminder to read the item descriptions. Pay attention to the days of rot if you have item decay turned on in your settings. If an item says things like probably shouldn't eat it, then probably don't eat it. The day resets at midnight, so remember to either consume, cook, craft, or sell those that only have one day left till it rots. And this goes for ingredients and materials as well. To cook, click on the pot inside your home. You will need recipes to create a meal, and similar to blueprints, you can get recipes from quests, festivals, and skill level ups. A bit of a warning though when cooking, time doesn't stop when you're on the UI screen for selecting what recipe to cook, so either check the ingredients fast or just proceed with cooking right away. Each recipe has different cooking times. For those that take hours, you can just leave them and then come back when the meal is done. To take your meal, click on the picture of the meal here. It took me a while to figure this out. One way to preserve a meal longer is by using a drying rack. This is available to you at the start. You can get it from the chest along with your starter tools and place it indoors. Fish, veggies, meat, and fruit work on the drying rack. The game does have a refrigerator of sorts called an ice box that you can craft whenever you get the recipe. It uses ice to slow down decay. It's a game changer and definitely one of my priorities when I finally got its blueprint. One thing to remember is that the items do have star quality ratings. And while it does not affect how filling the meal is, it impacts longevity and sell price. The higher the quality, the longer it takes to decay and the more expensive it is. There is no shipping bin in this game, so how can you make money? By trading, of course. You go up to a person, any person, then sell. You can also buy what they have if it looks interesting enough, or if you really need it. Either one works. Two things you need to consider when trading. One is that prices don't change no matter the villager. So no, you can't raise your price higher if you don't like someone. That said, it makes things easier as you can just go up to the first villager you see to sell to them. The second one is that villagers have seasonal and rotating stock, so you may need to wait another day or two if you're looking for something specific. When a villager that sells specific items dies, their family will take over, so you won't have to worry about missing critical items. In this game, there are market days every Sunday where villagers sell their goods and will have more rare items in stock. Unfortunately, you can't have your own stall. You will have to stick to going up to a villager to sell. Nope, this is no grand bazaar. On weekends, a ship visits Honeywood, and with them comes expensive rare items that you can buy. I didn't pay attention to it at first since I didn't have coins to spare, especially in the early game, but they sometimes have rare seeds, so it doesn't hurt to check them out. Paint can also be bought here. It's one of the materials you need for a house upgrade. Quick early money tip. You can sell the wood you shook from trees early on. But once you get a fishing rod, just go all out on fishing, especially since you will need a lot of wood in early quests and upgrades. Once you've unlocked enough blueprints and recipes, then cooking and crafting is a good add-on since it's semi-passive. Just place the ingredient or material and come back once it's done. Then we have farming, which will always be lucrative. The crops are profitable in their own way since they can be ingredients for meals, but the peas were my favorite in spring since they sell for 7 coins a pop, harvest up to 3, and continue to produce after their first harvest. The farming in this game is pretty straightforward. You plant, you water, you harvest. What makes it different is how you obtain the seeds. No, it's not the Winds of Anthos type. You buy the seeds from farmers, kids, and villagers with farming as a hobby. And as mentioned earlier, the stock rotates and is very inconsistent. So make sure to keep on checking back just in case you missed some seeds. As of the current version, the harvestable crop is a bit missable. The only indication you have to know that the crop is ready for harvest is when you see this yellow grid. This can get confusing when you're holding a watering can because it will just water instead of harvesting it. It's a good thing that the watering can has no durability, but the drops of water you could have saved feel like a waste to me. Especially in this game where there is no stamina. It's a race against the clock, and that extra time going back and forth to the water source is better made for something else, like designing your farm. If you accidentally hoed a plot of ground, don't worry, unplanted ground will reset to a normal unhoed ground by midnight. Make sure to be careful as the durability of your hoe does still go down, so do prepare for the placements on your farm. And if you've made it up to here, let us know in the comments below if this video has been helpful so far. Moving on to the NPC mechanics of the game, aside from trading. For a game that features generational gameplay, I'm happily surprised at how each and every villager has these similarities but still totally feels different. Each villager has their own traits and hobbies. Traits affect what they say, who they might have a chance to get along with, when they go to work, and how diseases affect them. While hobbies affect where they go on their days off and what they sell on their person. And while these may impact their favorite gifts, a good rule of thumb is just to go by price point. Especially in the succeeding generations, it will be quite tedious to look for each of their specific favorites. The more expensive, the better the gift. Over 30 coins is good, while over 100 coins is a favorite. Also do consider that there is a cooldown period of 3 days between gift giving. One thing I would have wanted is to have a tracker for the villagers. Unfortunately, you can only do so if you've completed their quest or if they're part of the family. And speaking of family, there is no dating period per se, just maybe the courtship of gift giving. But don't be alarmed when villagers are getting married to each other week after week. The game has this marriage shield. If you are single and your relationship score with them is the highest, they won't marry someone else. To trigger a proposal, you'll need to give your intended a marriage bouquet, which you can buy from the people at the lighthouse. 70% on the relationship gauge should be high enough for them to accept it. Once they accept it, a quest will trigger, usually requiring you to have a relationship score of 50% with a family member. Once you accomplish that, make sure you have enough coins to buy a wedding ring before you turn the quest in. Because this will trigger the date of the proposal and you will need a wedding ring on hand. The more expensive the ring, the higher the chances of getting accepted. Once they've accepted, the wedding will take place the next day. As for your home, there's no need to upgrade your house to get married and have kids. Your spouse and kids can sleep with you on the same starter single bed. Maybe. There's actually no sleeping animation yet for the NPCs, at least at this time of recording. And for your reference, here's how long each life stage is when aging is set to normal. Echoes of the Plum Grove was a pleasant surprise. It exceeded above and beyond our expectations from playing the demo. In this video, we'll be showcasing our first impression of this game. How does it compare to the full release? Well, you'll just have to click the video. See you there and stay awesome!